Hello everyone, it's Jared again, back with another video. It's a very quick one today. I just wanted to make this video to tell everyone about the situation in Syria. We have to start praying for the people of Syria, especially the Christians, the Christian community. They've been suffering immense persecution under, obviously, Bashar al-Assad, but now that his regime is toppled, there is another political group that is taking power and authority into the government and placing governmental authority into their own hands. And there is a danger of Islamic extremist groups like ISIS infiltrating government policy in the country of Syria. And that's something that is a cause, there is cause for concern. I've looked at very briefly the history of that region, the wars in the Middle East, all the conflicts, and everything to do with the Arab Springs, the way Western countries have been involved and Russia and the United States, the UK, NATO, they've been fighting proxy wars for a long time now, and the United States has been heavily invested in oil in the country of Iraq. And, I'm not saying that Western countries are innocent. Part of this war, part of the responsibility has to be laid down on Western countries, and our governments have blood on their hands. But I have to say this. This is the truth. You can look at all the micro details and nuances in regards to the war and the conflict, the history, and the Arab Springs. But what it all really boils down to is a particular religion. Now, I know that can spark a lot of controversy, but it is this so-called religion of peace that is causing all these problems. Take a look at Sharia law. Just look at how they treat their women, how they treat people who legally or illegally blaspheme. Their blasphemy laws are just off the charts. The punishments associated with blasphemy, the way they, in the Quran, there's passages and lots and lots of references to persecution or killing of other non-Muslims, i.e. Christians and Jews or Buddhists or any other religious communities that don't subscribe with their sickening ideology. And I have to say this because the people who are part of these terrorist groups like ISIS, like Boko Haram, like Al-Qaeda, obviously not all of them are associated with Syria, but ISIS itself is originally a Syrian terrorist Islamic group. And their whole ideology revolves around the Prophet Muhammad's teachings, the Quran, and this religion of peace. I have to be careful with my words. We cannot so simple-mindedly tell people that the conflict in the Middle East is between two sides, and both sides are in the wrong. Bashar al-Assad, of course, he has done some things to stabilize the country, but nonetheless, we have to admit he is a brutal dictator, and we cannot ignore these details. If you could please, for the love of God, name one terrorist group that subscribes to the Christian doctrine, that believes in Jesus Christ, that believes in Christianity. You cannot name any particular group that is associated with Christianity. This is just the truth. This doesn't boil down to, it was only a certain number of individuals or a certain group of extremists who isolate themselves from the rest of the religion, and they commit these atrocious acts. Now, sure, there is a difference between the radical ideological Muslims and cultural Muslims. Cultural Muslims don't really take their religion seriously, some of them, or some of them have never even read the Quran itself. But we have to make that distinction between the ideology and individuals. You know, some individuals are victims of this sick, atrocious ideology, this religion of peace, as we like to call it. So, you know, let's pray for the people of Syria. You know, I saw videos on YouTube of some of these Eastern Orthodox Syrians who had conducted their first divine liturgy, their Sunday service mass, after the fall of Bashar al-Assad's regime. And you know, I was really happy to see the people, you know, conduct their mass and finally have the freedom to pray, make their prayers in the divine liturgy, in the same way that I do it in my own church. I go to an Orthodox church myself, so it was just really, it was really positive to see. There's one other thing that did the rounds on social media on YouTube was there was a video of a Christmas tree being burnt down in the middle of I believe it was Damascus, capital city of Syria. Absolutely appalling. Just look at what they've done, and this was definitely done by the hands of either Islamic extremists or members of this religion of peace who are just simply intolerant towards the Christian doctrine. Christianity around the world is under attack, and we have to call it out for what it is. We have to call out the authorities in this country and all Western countries for not standing up for the one truth faith that has shaped Western civilization. And, you know, it's not just Christians in Syria who are being persecuted, tortured, beat down, Christmas trees being burnt. The Armenians are suffering under the Azerbaijanis. Christians being persecuted in Nigeria every year in Christmas. You need to look into that as well. Do your research, because mainstream media never covers this. They never cover mass genocides or a series of events that are linked to the persecution of Christians around the world. And we need to start taking notice of this. So, pray for the people of Syria, because you've got to pick a side now. You've got to pick a side. Which side are you on? On the side of the one true faith, the truth, or this religion of peace? A religion that is intolerant, that persecutes people for their beliefs, even though it doesn't subscribe to their own, and calls for open hatred towards Christians, towards Jews, towards the non-Muslims in this world, that treats its women like dogs. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for watching the video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.